G'day. Here's a simple formula for telling stories. Today is part 4 of our special series with expert storyteller Hasani X. And today I asked Hasani X, what is a simple formula that we can all use to tell a story?
At Lead Your Story, we use the 4 P's of storytelling. I'm going to share my founder story, then break down the 4 P's that went into that story. Now, mind you, this story is powerful at the point of contact when trying to close a deal. I used it to close my first 6-figure deal by just sharing this story when the prospect was starting to doubt whether or not she could actually trust me. Remember, the founder story is about why the person should trust you. So here's my founder story, real quick. I was a very successful business owner. And then one day my brother, he passed away. He was shot and murdered. And I remember thinking about our last conversation where he said I wasn't the big brother that he needed me to be. At the time I told him, BS, same home, same neighborhood, same circumstances, it's on you. But I had this reflective moment giving his eulogy and I understand what he meant. I was living in fear. You see, I was fearful of leading others, being responsible for anybody but myself. So I vowed that day to attack every fear I had. And one of them was physical confrontation. So I took my Ivy League degree, my successful business owning self, and jumped into a ring as a professional mixed martial artist. I'd never been more scared in my life. I was walking to the ring, I saw blood on the mat, and I was thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? My opponent, crazy, pacing the ring, yelling out, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, scared and shook, but I mustered up the gumption to say, well, I'm going to kill you. But I didn't believe it. I was shook. I was scared. I did not want to be there. But then the bell rung and we got into it. I've never been more tired in my life and I fell down in my corner. I remember my coach saying to me something I'll never forget. He said, X, remember what you're fighting for. I thought about my wife. I thought about my kids. I thought about my brother. I thought about everything. I turned that fight around, knocked him out at the end of the first round. And what I learned that day is this. You can overcome any fear, any obstacle, any challenge, as long as you know what you're fighting for. So let me ask you, what are you fighting for? I shared that story and she was like, sign, deal closed. So there were 4 P's in that story. Problems that turned into pain. A premise that was keeping the hero locked up. Fear, right? And third, power. What did I do, blow by blow? I told a story, what I did to overcome. And then pleasure. What did I get? I got something. Vindication, right? All of that. Problems and pain, premise, power, and pleasure. The 4 P's of telling a great story.